Hey, what's going on?
What are you talking about here?
Life?
Life? Life about what?
Life
Anything
of
particular?
depends.
Depends on what.
Depends on the conversation.
Okay. What was your last one?
It was about nothing. So
About
I said
nothing.
goodbye pretty quickly.
Okay. Okay. And what about the previous before it?
The previous was extremely weird.
The dude was jerking off.
No.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, if somebody was jerking off, then I wouldn't be having a conversation. So that kind of cancels itself out.
Yeah. Makes logic. Nice. Nice. So, what's your origin?
I'm not too far from New York City.
No, the origin for your accent.
Origin.
Yeah.
Human being.
Human being, citizen of the world.
Yay!
Going for Team Scott. Yeah. Why not? Why not? All right. How was it Christmas?
Well, I'm not Catholic, so I don't celebrate Christmas.
Oh, okay, makes sense. What about you? What about New Year?
Eh, Usual, I guess.
Usual.
Just family.
I mean, sounds good. Just spend some time with your family. Sounds really good. Nice.
So, but usually I'm not a big fan of huge celebrations or doing
Oh,
festive
makes sense.
stuff.
Me either.
Like, I don't celebrate my birthdays.
The same here. The same here.
We
The
might,
worst. The worst part for me is just to pick the presents. I just hate it. It just makes no sense for me.
well, now with online shopping, it's easier.
Yeah, kind of. But I still struggle just with the picking. I just hate it. All right.
No, actually, I kind of like the whole concept of online shopping.
Online shopping. Yeah, I mean, Amazon is great, definitely. Makes it easier. But at the same time, like it's different, different type of economics, different type of society structure. So it brings a lot of change to the life actually.
It does, but certain aspects I kind of like about it because going to physical stores.
It's convenient, but at the same time, like it breaks the entire social interactions. So it's
Well, here's how I look at it. It's one thing if you just drive on some open highway and there's plenty of parking and all that. But
Mhm.
in most, like, I don't know where you live and what kind of
California.
my condolences. Um, with the way people drive today, with the amount of knuckleheads that are high on drugs, drunk,
Oh, yeah.
and uninsured. Usually, combination of all three: high, drunk, and uninsured.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Uh, a
pretty
lot of
stereotypical, but yeah.
yeah. Also, number of hit and runs and all that, and it's almost like exposing yourself. It's such a necessary risk in a sense.
Mm, yeah, but at the same time, like it depends. Like if you don't want to go out just because it's dangerous,
It's
it's not the way you want to live your life.
No, let,
Because
let, let, let me explain. It's not that it's a danger in the sense of like, who I'm gonna die,
yeah,
because I much rather jump with a parachute out
yeah,
of an airplane than
all right,
drive in most cities, and not necessarily due to the I guess being scared of great bodily injuries or death.
okay.
It's just more of a frustration of dealing with the knuckleheads in the parking lots.
Well, yeah,
Because,
but they've been there forever. Like it's not. It doesn't depend on the shopping It's just the way it is.
Well,
There's always going to be stupid people.
right, but especially now with uh, what's a better way of saying it? I'm an immigrant myself, right? But
Hmm.
now you have so many immigrants from
Oh yeah,
God knows where,
yeah,
and in a lot of places they don't have a car culture,
yeah.
especially for women.
Oh yeah,
And
that
you look at
happens.
some of the Asian females, Brazilian females, Arabic females. The way they're driving, it's to say the least.
Yeah,
It's an accident waiting to happen.
it
What,
makes
what,
sense. It makes
whether they
sense. Yeah,
drive 2 miles an hour, a lot of especially they might be coming from Middle East or Brazil,
yeah.
and the moment you have half an inch of snow on the ground, they
Hmm.
drive 2 miles an hour.
Oh damn! Like even here, like in California, like when it rains, it's getting it's getting so messed up because people don't know how to drive here. I got rear-ended twice in sunny day, like in perfect weather conditions. I get rear-ended. It's just because that's the way people just don't know how to handle it with the stressful situations. But still, it's still not like it's still been there forever. It's not just something new.
No,
That's the way this country works.
but
So,
see, your immigrants 50 years ago were not the same as immigrants right now.
oh yeah, no, it's I mean people not the same way. They're not the same. The people are different. The immigrants are different. The cars are different. Like goddamn, you don't need to drive your car now. It drives by itself. You
Well,
don't need even to drive it now.
that's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like with the driving skills, that's actually the main reason for bad driving habits now. Just because people don't know how to drive because cars just drive themselves now, especially like Teslas. The car just drives. You don't need to be there. Like it doesn't depend on you. You
Also,
know,
also they claim.
I have a guy. I have a friend. He's a mechanic, and like he tells all the time the one thing, the one verse. 40 years ago, car manufacturers used to put in the manuals the information about how you adjust your
Right.
engine valves. But now they tell you not to drink the antifreeze.
Well, they
And
tell you not to drink antifreeze.
yes, they tell you not to drink like the liquid, not to drink the acid from the batteries.
Well, because
So
y-
that's been the huge difference for now. Like 40 years ago, it was different. The cars were different. Then you actually should have the driving skills for that. It's not just now. You're 16 years old. You go DMV, get your license, and you're good to go. Like back then, it was all mechanic. It was like all junky. It was all hard to drive. Uh, no hydraulics on steering wheel. So it was different. It was different, and people were different. They were built different for that. Now it's more comfortable, more like progressive, all the stuff. But at the same time, you're getting people that don't know how to drive now. That's the consequences.
well, but the problem is those car manuals are not really written by engineers and mechanics these days. They're written by
Yeah,
lawyers.
yeah, yeah.
It's all
That's another
about
reason. Yeah,
liability. It's less and less about the car itself or telling
it's
you
more
what
about
to
the
do.
law. Yeah,
It's just what can we do not to
yeah,
get sued.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah, yeah. That's the problem. It's just getting so much easier today. So a lot of people just don't appreciate it, and they just lose their skills. Just even with the driving, then you got like, and that's the another problem with the shopping. People are losing their social skills because they don't interact even with store owners. They don't interact anymore. They don't need that. They have deliveries. They have food deliveries. They have Amazon. Everything getting to your door. You don't need even to get out for it. and that's the problem. You don't need to talk with people, and when you don't talk to people, you just lose that skill the same way.
But you
So
know, like you mentioned going to stores and all that,
yeah.
especially lately. Like I've been in this country for almost 30 years, and lately I've noticed like you go in the store somewhere, and some people, I'm not gonna say certain groups of people,
Well,
uh,
yeah,
they walk in
we
and
won't mention that.
yeah, I'm gonna scratch my shirt,
Okay, yeah, I got
you
you. I
know.
got you, bro. I got you,
Uh,
bro.
they walk in and they literally stop, let's say 2 3 feet away, after the door, and they just stand there, and you kind of like in the doorway, and you're like, can you keep going or move out of the way? And
Yeah.
when you tell them like, oh, don't tell me what to do, don't tell me this and that.
Ah, that happens. I mean, that's a lot of like actually what's the guy name? Um, I guess it's Charlie Kirk. I don't remember. Like the guy who like supports Trump. He was mentioning that like that's all are coming from like social privileges from 80s. It's just the consequences when women start to marry government instead of men. They kids look like that, and that's another problem. But the point is, I know the people who get out of that system, particular that system, and I know people who got stuck there, and like that's totally different kind of people, and that's another problem now because a lot of people when they get into more convenient and comfortable way of living, they getting like to the second category. That's why you see them that much because people who actually try to get out of it, and that's real. Like you have a lot of ways to get out of it, but they just don't want it because it's way more comfortable to stay like that. Just to use the welfare. Just you don't need to work
No,
when you grow in
no,
that environment.
your welfare is your career.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what he told. That's what he tells it to everyone. And he was driving all over the country. He was traveling a lot, and he used to sit on the university campus or college campuses, and just talking to students and telling like, you got some social issues over here, and the problem is the government makes it easier for them, but putting the price on you. So you have to pay for it
Of course.
in one way. And another way, it's this thing is solvable. Like you can actually solve it. You just need to push the government to do that. And that's another thing. But it's going around, especially here in California. Like you can see that, but at the same time, I live in pretty much Republican city. It's like not the major one. It's just the tiny city, but um, we actually don't have a lot of it here because people are more conservative, more just values are different from the society today. But you can still see those cases in particular
But
ways.
still, you might be in a more of a Republican area, but state
Yeah.
law is the same within the
Yeah, I mean
state.
it's still California, and it
Right.
won't go anywhere.
So,
Obviously, that's California, anyways. So you just uh, that's a complicated thing because a lot of people they obviously complaining, especially regarding the Newsom politics, like government Newsom. It's like it sucks, completely sucks. But at the same time, people don't remember like in '83, California used to be a Republican state, and Texas usually like historically used to be Democrat state before. So they just swapped. And these elections, like the 24 elections, they showed a huge swing to Republican now. It's like 38% of voters are Republican now. They vote Republican. Like even Elon Musk, he was a Democrat. He voted for Biden, and now he's the biggest Trump supporter. So it's going around. Like that's just time of change.
Because people are so fed up with ultra radical leftist
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, obviously. Even
And
like here, you can touch it here in California. I guess like New York the same way, but
a
you,
lot of
you
people just don't have enough, I guess, sight to realize that radical leftism is destroying almost every aspect of life.
oh
And
yeah,
in
yeah.
certain laws, well, a lot of laws that kind of look good on paper and look
I mean,
non-discriminatory on paper, in reality, and the way they implement the law and the way they pick and choose when to enforce that law,
yeah,
it
yeah.
it's gonna collapse everything. It's
I
gonna
mean,
collapse a healthcare. It's gonna
yeah,
collapse a family law. It's gonna
yeah,
collapse criminal law.
yeah. I mean, bro, they literally like the communism looked good on the paper, but it just doesn't work. This is the same way here. I mean, Biden's socialist as fuck, like 100%.
You call them socialist or communist, but these people actually have nothing to do with socialism or communism. They are
You know, they
radical leftists.
yeah. I mean, the left is actually like communism is actually like left today
But
because people want all this like welfare. They don't want to do shit now. They don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to. They don't want even to feel the taxes now. Like they just like, oh, it's too hard. Like government shouldn't tax us. Okay, no, it should. First of all, the second, you are the one who pays welfare. Just accept it. Like if you don't want to lose your money, stop welfare. That's it. Simple as that. Like yeah, there are certain categories. Like yeah, you get in like food banks, you're getting a shelter like for homeless. It's fine. It should be like every every single one developed country should have it. Like that's period. But at the same time, like if you have the entire population category who lives on welfare and lives on benefits, and you're the one who pay for it, like that's the point you should consider your life like going different way.
when thugs and criminals have much better healthcare
Oh yeah,
than a guy who worked
come
his
on.
ass off all life and then
Mm,
dies in the hospital
yeah,
because his insurance refuses to pay for necessarily surgeries,
yeah,
and he hasn't committed a single crime in his whole life
yeah.
and wouldn't hurt a fly, yet a drug dealer gets the best
Getting full social
healthcare.
benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So a lot of people look at it and they're like, what's the incentive to be a good, moral, hard-working citizen?
yeah, yeah. And that's the point. That's why people voted actually Republicans that time, and they actually smashed it like with the Congress getting all red, with the Trump getting elected, and like I was till the last second, I thought they're gonna put Trump in jail because I thought like there's no way this guy gonna make it, and he made it. So that's why America is so blessed because shit like this happens here. Like you can't even imagine it, but it happens. So it's yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be different. I don't know. Is it gonna get better or worse? But it's definitely gonna be different.
I really don't think it's gonna be worse. I really don't think it's gonna be
I
worse.
mean, there's still some ways to get worse, but I don't think it's gonna get worse too. But you never know because politicians, it's still politicians. They
They're
they tell whatever
politicians,
you
but
want.
remember, Trump is not a career politician, and
Yeah, that's the
he's.
difference. That's the difference.
You realize Trump is the only president in probably the last 100 years who has not made money but actually lost money during
Oh, he gained a
presidency.
lot of. Yeah, he
Right.
gained a lot. Um, he lost a lot of equity. I guess it was
Right.
just kind of like two billion something. So he lost a lot
Well,
during his last presidential.
while he was in office, he lost about 1.2 billion
Yeah, one
officially.
point two, something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Officially. And
yeah.
pretty much every other president has made money.
Oh, bro, look at Obama. Look at him. He
That's what I
got
thought.
rich, literally. He got rich.
You know what hurts me the most is that a lot of radical leftists, when I tell them that he's nothing but a piece of shit, they jump on me and start saying, "Oh, you're saying it because he's black." I said, "Well, first of all,
Racist,
he's
racist.
he's half black, half white. His mother is a white person.
Yeah,
That's first, you know. And second, there are a lot of black people, actually not half black, half white, but actually
yeah.
black people
Actual black people. Yeah.
with for whom I would vote with two hands
Oh
for
yeah.
them to become president.
Oh yeah.
One prime example would be, uh, I think he's now retired Milwaukee County Sheriff. The hell is his name? Having a brain fart. He always wears a cowboy hat. Probably in his 60s. Black guy.
Um, I don't.
He,
I don't remember. Like to be honest, I'm not. I'm not really close to Wisconsin politics, so I don't know.
I'm not. You know, me neither. But he was really on national
Just
TV. Big.
based as fuck.
Uh, I'll give you his name in 1 second.
I was in favor with Ron DeSantis, with Florida governor this elections, but he obviously lost Iowa, so you got rid of him.
Oh,
But
David Clark.
oh, okay, the Clark, yeah, yeah. I guess I remember this guy. Yeah,
Right. He's a black person,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I would vote for him with
And
two hands.
that's actually the point. Like, the lefties, they put everything on like racial basis.
That's the
Like
easiest
if
way to divide people.
yeah, and yeah, that's how they divide people. That's the point. Like, oh, Trump is racist. Oh, Trump is that. Trump is there. And at the same time, the guy got investigated by FBI for 2 years. He got digged hard, and everything they could dig out is just a whore being paid before elections and some tax invasions in New York. Like, is that all they got on him? This guy's clear. He's clear as fuck.
You know, Trump and his family were some of the first large business owners in New York City
Oh
that
yeah, I
would
mean he's a
actually
huge developer in
hire
New York.
that would
Yeah,
actually hire a lot of blacks. And I'm
yeah.
talking about not just Trump himself, but his dad. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah,
he because their family was just looking for a good employees, and where some other employers would discriminate blacks, I'm talking about like
yeah,
50s, 60s, even 70s.
yeah,
His family would hire a lot of black people
yeah.
based on their skill level.
I mean, Trump is one of the biggest of Tyson. Like, and Tyson, the guy who brought a lot of jobs for black guys there, like back in '90s, '80s, '90s. He was a huge thing back then, and he's one of the closest friends to Trump. So like, there's nothing racial there. Like, it's just the way you call it.
I mean,
Because like,
listen, he's got jokes, he's got humor and all that.
I mean,
Listen, he grew up with Jews. He did
yeah, I mean,
most
come
of his
on, yeah.
business with
It's
Jews.
different there.
His family is Jewish, yet he likes
Yeah.
to break balls of Jewish people.
Oh,
Does it
come
make
on,
him
like,
anti-Semitic? No. He just
no,
that's
it's
kind of
just the
humor
way.
he's got.
Yeah, the way I mean, you know, people actually are missing the times when mean tweets were the biggest problems of America back then. That's the way it is. Like, oh, he's so mean. Oh, look at his tweet. Like, hey guys, look at it now, where we got now. So it wasn't that bad back then. It wasn't that bad. So
Look, I much rather take any kind of mean joke, but affordable groceries
yeah,
because
that's the point.
those jokes they don't hurt my refrigerator. You know,
Yes, the prices are. Yeah,
so I
yeah.
mean, listen, I'm on a diet. I'm trying to eat less, so in a sense, it's a good
Oh,
thing.
bro, the same.
Yeah. But aside from that, for like some single moms,
It's still a problem. Like, yeah, it's getting high. It's not as skyrocket as it was like 70s, but it's still getting there. It's still pretty high. Like inflation now, and well, the gas prices, like the June like of 2022, we had $7 per gallon here in California for gas price. Well,
Wow.
now it's 380. It's pretty close to what it was like in 20. But like in 2022, we had $7 per gallon, and it was insane.
Wow.
And you know the reason? Like everybody tells like, oh, that's a war because the war in Russia and Ukraine. Like, no, it
No,
wasn't the war.
it has
It was
nothing.
because Biden shot the refineries in California, and all the gas in California is actually being exported from other states. It's not the war. It's the California gas are gone.
Well, thing is, unlike let's say Western Europe and some other countries that are dependent on Saudi Arabia, Russia,
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
for their energy,
The oil prices, yeah,
we US and Canada has 1/10 of the population of the US
yeah.
with more territory really. uh,
Technically, yeah.
we are not dependent on anybody's oil.
And no, like we got a lot of oil even here in California. It's one of the biggest oil producers in the United States. We got the actual oil wells in Los Angeles, the city itself. We got them there, and actually we have the dinosaur museum in LA downtown, and they close it because when they were digging out the remains, the bones, they got flooded with oil. So there's a bunch of oil here in California. It's just the way that stupid people trying to manipulate it.
Well, it's just a corporate grade.
Yeah,
That's all it is. It's just a
yeah,
corporate
yeah.
grade.
It's just like, oh no, it's not that green. Just shut the fuck up. I need to put the gas in my car. I don't care where goes from. Like I know this shit is here under the ground, right below me, and I want the shit to be in my car. That's all I want. So
You know
yeah,
how much oil is in Alaska, in Canada, all that. So
just like the Canada itself, it's actually that's one of the main oil importers now because they got their pipe relief now, so they can put it back in Europe. The oil, especially for the market being in struggle now. But just Canada itself can support the United States and the entire um, South America.
of
Just
course,
Canada,
of
just
course,
Canada itself.
it's a huge country with no people.
There's like 90 million people living there. It's
No,
nothing.
it's about
It's bigger
40.
than the United States.
No, it's about 40 million.
Maybe 40, yeah. I don't really remember, but it's just like nothing. So like Vancouver itself is like 5 million. So it's not that spread there. Not
It's
that
a
much.
radical leftist capital of the Canada,
Oh,
Vancouver.
Trudeau is getting laid off now.
I know, I know.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
He's
I just
I
saw.
call him monster with a fake baby face.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was playing like he was playing like so like cool guy, some nice guy, like really gentle guy, back in like 16, 17, and he got. I guess he became the head of the party like in 2013. I don't remember, but he was like, "Oh, I'm so like we're so good, we're so progressive, like we're gonna go there," and we got when he got it president, just oh my fucking god, he's fucking socialist there. Look at him.
I wouldn't even call him socialist. He's a radical leftist.
I mean,
I
like
mean, he's a
far left, far
look.
left.
He's a dictator that
Yeah.
plays a nice guy. He's a dictator,
Oh yeah.
but
I
he's
mean,
just playing
it's
a nice guy.
I wouldn't call him dictator because like to be a dictator, you actually have to be like in the certain conditions, and like Canada is definitely not the place that's gonna be a dictatorship.
Problem
But
is, it's not done in like in some places where you call a dictatorship, it's done directly. Like he tells
oh
you,
yeah.
you doing this, and if you don't,
Oh, I
here's the
know. I'm originally
consequences.
from Russia. Like I know that.
Right. But with him, it's soft, like, hey, let's be friends, but we're gonna
It's
put everything in such a
it's
ways
kind of soft force.
that
Yeah,
it's almost like you have a choice, but you
but
placed
you
in the
don't have
such
it.
circumstances where it's almost like you don't have a choice. You have a choice on paper, but in
Yeah,
reality you don't have a choice. So it's a
yeah.
dictatorship. It's just it's a piece of shit, but with a sugar coat.
Oh yeah,
That's all it
obviously,
is. But it's still
obviously.
a dictatorship, just with a fake nice face.
It's still shit inside. Yeah, there's still shit inside there. But the good thing he's got now. But my only concern, who's going to be next? It might be something worse. But no, I think it should be good because like opposition's there in like Canada in Canadian Parliament. It looks decent. It looks decent.
I kind of like the other guy, Polivery, but you don't know what's inside of him.
You can never tell. Like when even um, what was that? Even with Obama, like nobody
Ugh.
actually considered him like seriously when he got in his first term. And was it 12? What, a 12? I don't remember the year.
He's
This one.
radical. He's
But he's
radical.
gone like he's so far left. Nobody could tell that. He's kind of lawyer from the good family, pretty decent background. Like no, not a lot of politics shit
No,
there,
he's extremely indoctrinated.
but
He supports radical Islam.
oh
He
yeah, I
supports
mean there was a lot of shit going on there.
radical leftists. He supports like extremely radical feminism and just extreme radical forms of government.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, he was the one who actually put the Saudi Arabian foundings on colleges. He actually the one who allowed this because the reason why all the campuses are like so pro-Palestinian now. They got all those riots back like last year, literally. Like we got it here, like UCLA, San Bernardino College. We got a bunch of them here. But the point is, a lot of sponsorships for those colleges are going from radical Islam countries now. And Obama was the one who actually allowed that. So, and now, like you see, you meet the consequences. So, I guess Trump is going to do something with that because it's definitely not okay. Nobody going to handle it like the second time. You don't know when it's going to shot the second time. So,
and also, Obama is extremely anti Semitic. He
oh,
does not like
yeah.
Jews.
No, no. I mean, look at America now. Like, there's so much of anti-Semitism now. It's just
I'm not
so
gonna
bad.
say that I fully support Israeli government, but
Nah, not
but
Netanyahu has to be laid off. Definitely.
I can differentiate between Israeli government
Yeah.
and Jewish people. Not
Oh yeah.
necessarily just Israelis. I'm
Yeah.
saying Jews people, Jews from
Themselves. Yeah.
anywhere,
Just as a
you know.
as a population. Yeah.
And
Itself.
Obama is a radical anti-Semite.
Mm,
He's radical anti-Semite. I
because he's
remember,
pro-Arabian. That's it,
well,
like
I remember
that's it.
years ago, Netanyahu was coming to DC, and he pretty much like had like a back door open for him, like he's
Yeah.
some kind of servant
He
or
got to yeah he got to White House through the back door back then. Yeah. Yeah.
it was done
I
on
remember that.
purpose to show that we don't like Jews.
Yeah, no, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like a lot of sponsors for Democrat Party were so pissed off with that because they still like supporting Israel back then because it's probably the only one the last United States ally back there. That's we don't have any more.
And like I
But
said, I'm not a big fan of Israeli government,
yeah, but
you
it's,
know.
it's still like it's the only way to get any kind of control back there.
Right.
It's you can give up on that. That's the point. Yeah, yeah. Like you have a lot of questions for the government, and it makes sense because they doing a lot of stupid shit there. But at the same time, the people of Israel,
Well,
they,
not just people of Israel, but Jews
they
from
yeah, like
around the
for
world.
as a community, yeah, the entire Jewish community. It was the United States, like historically, was the single country that actually never had Jews repressions, never had anti-Semitism. Like they in the entire world, like Jews are being persecuted everywhere except United States. And now we live in the age where it's all different. So it's yeah.
Well,
So
listen.
I hope President Trump is gonna fix it. I obviously he won't do everything because it's just too much, like too much on his plate. But I guess it's gonna change at least. So I hope for that. I hope for that.
Well,
But we'll
listen.
see.
I
We'll
appreciate the
see.
conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
I'm gonna roll, and you have yourself
All right.
a
All
good day.
right. Thank you. You
Take
have a
care,
good
bud.
one.
I'll
Bye
see you,
bye.
man.